I'll have
And
some
then,
water.
okay, and then we can just chit chat for a little bit because it takes a minute for them to log on.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, and then let's see. So the kids are at boarding school.
Just 2 nights a week. Yeah, they love that. It's really great because they get to mix with all the local day kids, but because it's a state school, so it's a government school for all local kids in the area, but they have international boarding. So there's kids boarding from all over the world, from America, Nigeria, Australia, right, Korea, all over. And you can access the British state education if one of the parents is a resident of the UK.
Okay.
Residents.
But they're high school, right?
Yeah, it's called secondary school. So it starts at age 11 through to your GCSEs, and then your A levels, and then you would leave to go to university. So yeah, secondary school.
Right. My dog is a mess. He's crazy. Okay, hang on a second. People are joining. I'm just going to read off who's here. We've got Lynn Jenkins. She says, hi. Christy Lee, Mo from Idaho, Victor from Canada, Fran and Peggy and Sue and Mary Mins, Dorothy, Cindy. I know. Pam, hi, Pam. It's good to see you. I hope you're feeling better. Mel, we're glad you joined on time. Joyce and Diana, I miss seeing you. I'm so glad you're here. Jenny and Anne and June and Wendy from Vancouver, Canada. Phyllis, we were just talking to you. She says hi from South Lake Tahoe. Phyllis, are you going home tomorrow? How's the snow up there? And Anna and Jane from Kentucky. Wendy has a question right off the bat.
Already?
Okay, Wendy, we'll answer that in just a second, Wendy. Okay, so I'm so excited. I always love when Sophie is willing to join us. So we have Sophie Standing from the UK. All right, so I'm just going to let you do an introduction of yourself, of anything you think's important. Okay, no, I'm going to ask you questions.
That's fine. So many people have heard a blur about me before.
No, we've got lots of new people on.
Oh, have we?
Lots of names I don't recognize.
Oh, brilliant. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a British artist, but I've lived in Africa for 22 years and just landed back in England after all that time away to educate our kids for their secondary education, which is all going really well, which is
good. Because that's kind of a big change for your boys to not be kind of footloose and fancy free for school.
I mean, they miss it. Obviously, they miss their home because coming here has only ever been just visiting grandparents and things. So, they're born and bred in Africa. So, it would be a big step for any child going from one country to the next at age 12 and 13. It's, quite tricky years to settle in, but they're doing really well. And for us, it's doing all those things that they didn't have in the bush. So spending your Friday nights rushing from club to club, from basketball to kayaking. And,
right.
That doesn't finish till about 9 o'clock at night when the whole family are back home together. And that's what it's all about. They didn't have those kind of things as bush kids, So,
right. Welcome to the rat race, where you're like struggling to get them to everywhere, and they're involved in way too many things, and they're never going to need to be in traveling sports because they're not going to be in the NFL.
Well, Finn reckons he's going to be in the NBA.
Okay.
Already, he played his basketball tournament on Sunday in Exeter. After learning to play basketball in the bush with poor kid, he used to have to buy a basketball sort of almost every 2 weeks because it would get all the thorns in it from the acacia trees.
Right.
On really uneven ground. There was no kind of flat tarmac at our house. It was all just rubble up at the car park. And so it's amazing that he can finally, play in.
Right. I love that you call a basketball court the tarmac.
The tarmac. We've been looking at houses to buy, and if it doesn't have tarmac.
Right.
Like a dog is like, oh no, how am I going to play basketball? It hasn't got tarmac there. What would you call it outside?
Cement.
Cement. Okay.
I think. I mean, we have a basketball court in our backyard. I think it's just cement.
Cement.
Yeah. A parking lot. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, cement parking lot stuff. Yeah, definitely. Yes. You could play on that. But I guess
a tarmac's where the airplanes land.
Yeah. Well, we have that on our roads. So in the driveway of houses are often tarmacked as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, funny.
Sometimes there's a little language barrier here, girls. So, anyways, we have Sophie Standing. She's from the UK.
Yeah.
And concrete. Mo says, really? No. They're saying asphalt.
Asphalt. Yeah, that's the same thing. Asphalt,
yes.
Tarmac. Yeah, same thing.
Yes.
Same thing. Yeah.
So, cool. Anyways, we have
Glad
Sophie.
We cleared that up.
So, I know the important things in life.
About stabilizers and really get, things like that.
Yes, threads and things. So Sophie is one of the most amazing thread artists that you guys will ever be introduced to if you haven't met her already. But she won't tell you that herself, but it's true. And we have had her, I think, how many times did you come to the US for our Tahoe retreats?
Well, I know we did the quail, and did we do the shell?
Yeah. Nope, we didn't do a shell.
Did we not do a shell? Did we do a quail? Did I do 2 with you or just 1 with you? What? The first time round.
I think you did a quail.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next time you came and the wolf.
The wolf, the raccoon before that.
Yeah. The wolf and raccoon were in the same year because you were supposed to be here for 2 weeks.
That was the 2-week one, yeah.
Yeah, but then you didn't make it in. Yes. Oh, like they're all saying somehow. The wolf.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the eagle we did online.
Yeah.
So
and the links.
Twice. Wait, go ahead.
The links as well online.
Yes. Yeah. So many, it's hard to remember. You'll have to ask Phyllis because she's done every single one of them.
She's doing the alpaca at the moment as well. So yeah, right. She's the gold badge lady.
Yes. So if anybody has any questions, Phyllis can answer it because she probably has a better memory than either of us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, yeah, the other thing I was going to say, essentially, I am a wildlife artist. So I've actually never done any people portraits or buildings or anything like that. I just stick to to wildlife or animals. I suppose I've done some pet portraits and obviously birds and fish and that kind of thing. But yeah, it's the characteristics of mammals and creatures that I love trying to express through my medium of fabric and thread.
And you're an Aurifil ambassador?
Yeah, Aurifil. They call it an Aurifil artisan or ambassador, I suppose. Yeah, Aurifil artisan.
Okay.
Yes, I've been sponsored by them. I guess it must be nearly 6 years now, I think. Yeah, it must be almost 6 years.
Yeah. Here, I got it. Sure. I have a dog who cannot.
A dog
yes, I have a dog problem at the moment. Go lay down or something. It's like having a toddler. Okay, so we do have. Well, how did you get into fabric and threads and all that? Okay. Because you're not necessarily a quilter.
No, I'm not a quilter in the sense that I don't use the 3 layers. From what I understand it, you can make a patchwork as your top layer, you make the patchwork, and then for it to become a quilt as the wadding and then the backing, and then you quilt the top of it, is my understanding of a quilt. So essentially my pieces of artwork are not quilts. They're 1 layer of canvas, and I do applique and my first blobs of paint, as it were. And then the thread work over the top of the applique is all the details of the animal. So that's why I call it textile embroidered art, because the textiles and the embroidery play equal parts. I like to keep a lot of the textiles showing, but then all the thread work is so detailed and has to show all the details of that animal. I started doing it about 13 years ago when I was in South Africa, and I'd always, fabric and threads and all things arts and crafts had always been a big part of my life. As a kid and a teenager, I was always knitting, crocheting, hand embroideries, making up my own little embroideries. I always used to try and experiment. So even though I'd never been taught to do things like Fair Isle, I would just make up my own, just grab a couple of balls and just practice and make things. So it was always about experimenting. So with the work that I do now, again, it was just experimenting. It was a friend asked me if I'd do some pieces for a shop that I was selling some clothes in, because I used to make clothes as well and sell them in South Africa. and she knew that I'd go to life drawing classes and I loved painting. So I had a lot of paint in it. I painted in them and I sewed in them and I put fabric on them and then put them on the walls of her shop. And it kind of just spiraled from there. We moved from South Africa to Kenya, and some tourists had seen the work on the walls in this shop, my friend's shop, and commissioned me to do a rhino. 2 rhinos actually under a tree with lots of grasses around. And I thought, oh, well, hang on, I suppose I can draw it with a pen, so maybe I can draw it with thread and fabric. So it just kind of started from there. It wasn't something that I intended to do, artwork for people's walls, but they just sort of started becoming textiles for the walls. Yeah, like painted textile pictures.
Right. Okay, I have a couple of questions. Vinny says she brags about you all the time and shows off her links. She's now living in Texas. Hey, Vinny, I didn't realize you'd finished it.
That was a nice project to do, wasn't it?
Yes. And then Cindy Gygax wants to know, do you have the stallion to show for the January class? No, Cindy Gygax.
I better get going, hadn't I? No, I've not made it yet.
Yes, I can't believe Cindy put you on the spot like that. She knows you're in the middle of the alpaca class right now.
I know. And I'm doing an ostrich commission and I'm doing a dog, someone's dog portrait as well. But it's next. Then I'll be making the stand. It takes a while because obviously I have to film myself doing it. So, and I don't like with any of my work, I cannot bear. I know you guys have UFOs, but I cannot cope with them. Right. I have to do it and continue doing it until it's finished. Particularly with a workshop. When I'm filming a workshop, I don't like to be disturbed. If it takes me 2 or 3 weeks, I have to do it every day for 2 or 3 weeks until it's finished because I lose the flow of what I'm doing. And,
right. Well, and it takes so much time to go back and figure out and refocus and remember what your plan was and what you were doing. And then you've dragged the pieces away and the dog's eating something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I also have to have all my threads next to me, and if I start doing something else, those threads get put away. Then I can't remember which colors I was using, and so it has to all be in one go.
Right. Cindy says sorry. She's just so excited to take the class. I think Cindy might be another one who's taken everyone.
Everyone's seen the photo, have they? Of the
yes. They've all seen the photo that we're using.
Yeah.
Okay, and then let me go back to the very beginning when we had a question. Well, do you have a piece that you can show? I know you don't keep any of them, but do you have a piece you can show them?
Do you know what? I'm trying to think what's in the studio. I have a piece that I appliqued today, but I haven't done the sewing on. I could get you that ostrich. That's upstairs. I'm downstairs because the internet, as Beth knows, I actually only replied to her a few hours ago about doing this because our internet was down in the village for over 24 hours. It was a nightmare. And I'm downstairs because the internet just works better here than in the studio. I don't want any more mess ups. So I can go upstairs and have a look. I do have a piece where the body of the bird isn't finished, but I've done the head and the neck. I can show you that. Would you like to see that?
Yes, for sure.
I'll entertain you for a few minutes while I go upstairs.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys and keep you entertained for a minute. So, Wendy, the January course is in person. So it's not in person. Sorry. It is not in person. The January course is online, and Sophie is interactive with us for 2 months. And all of the units are very clearly lined out. She films her whole process for each step. And then she interacts with you. You can email her your progress. You can post it on Facebook and other students will answer right away. And then we do Zooms. Sophie doesn't join the Zooms necessarily, but we do Zooms. We host a Zoom once a week where students can work on it together just so that it kind of allows you to have that classroom experience. No, Mary Vitti. A blood transfusion from Sophie will not help you at all with your UFOs at all. You're on your own with that.
That's very funny.
But what I will tell you guys, if you're kind of on the fence because you don't know if you really want to do an online class, oh, you're welcome, Wendy. Wendy said she just registered. I will tell you that a lot of our students who have taken the classes in person and online, the in-person is always amazing because you get that one-on-one in-person experience. But the learning online is actually super focused. You can work at your own speed. You don't have the pressure of the other students. So it really is a great experience.
And it's all step by step. So literally I start with the very basics, like creating your background fabric. This is one of my backgrounds here.
Here, I'm going to make you big. Hang on a second. Girls, I'm going to try not to mess this up, but I'm going to make Sophie big.
You don't have to. So it's all set step by step in easy to follow guides. Starting with the first guide, well, obviously it'll be an introduction, but then creating a background canvas. So how to create a canvas for it. I hope you can see that okay, but like all the texture on of paint and things on a background, to putting your template onto your canvas. So here I've got, oh, this is a little puppy dog I'm doing at the moment. So transferring your picture onto the background. For me, I do a drawing, then I photocopy the drawing, and then I use this drawing as a template. So you can see where I've cut it all out like a stencil. We will use a photocopy of the photo, of the picture. So of that Mustang, of the stallion, it'll be a photocopy of the photograph, but we use it exactly the same way. So we cut everything out and just use it like a child stencil to mark all the points down on the canvas. And then we draw it in as much detail as possible. And it might sound weird that we do a lot of detail of drawing, but it's so that when we start, it's a few reasons. One, when we start putting the applique down, we can really see the flow of the fabric. It might have, like a direction on it. We might want to know which direction, feathers are going, or texture of the fur is going, or the skin or muscles of the animal. It also helps to imprint into our brain what is happening within the anatomy of that creature. So, when I'm sketching it out, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at all of this and drawing it. But when I draw it out on here, I'm drawing it again. And then when I draw it the next time, it'll be in thread. And it's that sort of imprinting it back onto your mind the whole time. Then the next step would be doing all the applique, sourcing your fabrics. And then when we start the thread painting, it's in guides for each, I can say body part, I suppose it is, or facial feature. So eyes, the nose, the ears, the mouth, working through, showing you how to blend things, how to do fur, how to shadow and light areas, all of that. And then for the first month, I do a live every Sunday in the morning and in the evening. And I put that on the group so that I sort of try and manage that I can get across the world, because people sign up for these workshops from all over. So I do one in the morning and one in the evening, normally for 4 or 5 weeks. The last one, I try and do a Zoom so that we can come on and show what we've been doing, and which is really nice to be able to actually see people's work and have everybody on the Zoom asking questions about them. And then I check every day for that first month for any comments and posts on the group. But I also give out my email address for people who want to contact me privately as well and ask me a question. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I'm enjoying the workshop so much, purely because it means the students can interact as much or as little as they want. They don't have to post the process. Occasionally I'll have, 40 students or 50 students, and I might only ever hear from 15 or 20 of them that are actually present on the group. So I know that people sign up and want to just do the project on their own at home, which is absolutely fine. And that's how it should be. You come on and you do the workshop and you take what you want from it and enjoy it and whatever. Or you can post on the group every day and interact with other members on the workshop, interact with me, and just, you can kind of interact as much as you want. And I think it's a nice way to work. You're not sitting next to someone in a workshop who's necessarily working faster than you, and you can in the privacy of your own home, which I think is really great. So if there's any questions on that, on the workshop and the way in which it's taught, ask away. I think Beth will have to come back on for that.
Okay. So what if, I don't know, it muted me. So what if they feel like they can't draw?
You will be able to draw it. I absolutely promise you'll be able to draw it. It looks very daunting when I show you that puppy that I drew today, but I got really carried away with doing it in such detail because it was so cute. But you will be able to. This will essentially be a black and white photo copy of whatever.
And in the kit includes the black and white full size copy and the photocopy and fabrics that you might or might not want to use.
You will be able to draw. Also, you don't have to go to this much detail on here. You really don't. As long as you get the eyes in the right place. I mean, often with the eyes, when it's something like this size, you won't be putting too much fabric in. I will jump over now to the ostrich because I drew the ostrich and the dog out today. So here's the ostrich, and you'll see that we just pulled that fabric down on the top there. You will see like some of my fabric doesn't meet, and like on the eye, the eyelashes I've drawn in. It's not in as much detail as the dog. Also because the dog it's a portrait of someone's, essentially their child. So it's quite stressful. I have to get it exactly right. It can't just be any old dog, whereas this can actually be any old ostrich. So it's not quite as stressful. Let me try and get that eye in the right place for you. So can you see that all right?
Yep.
I keep moving it the wrong way. So yeah, you can see where I've drawn bits of the eye on. And so I've got fabric there, but I haven't got fabric in all of it because we're going to thread paint a lot of this. So you don't have to fussy cut too much. Things can overlap slightly and there can be little gaps in it. So it is basically my first blobs of paint, like and you can see with the direction of those, I'll stand up, the feathers underneath his neck here. The feathers are quite long and then they get shorter. So that fabric work, that Liberty fabric worked really well under there. And you can see this is the cabbage leaf on here. The Philip Jacobs, the K Facet Collective Philip Jacobs cabbage. But this was the other way. I turned it round so it's much darker normally. So this was the back of it, which was really light and works really well for the sort of the ostrich fluffy cheeks. Any questions on that?
Okay, I got some questions. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So what is the base fabric that you're using, the canvas? And do you stabilize it since you only use one layer?
It is organic cotton canvas. I buy it from canvas companies, actually. In Australia, they call it duck cloth. I like to use, this is a 15 ounce. It is thick, but the more you use it, the softer it gets. You know how when you've washed a pair of jeans and they come out like a piece of cardboard, don't they? Or you've washed them and hung them on the line and they're so stiff they could just stand up by themselves. Well, all fabric is like that until it starts being used and ironed. And just as I'm doing this with it, I can feel it's getting softer and softer and softer. Whereas this side is still, as you can see, really stiff. So yeah, it's a 15 ounce. 12 ounces is great as well. 10 ounce is getting 10 ounces is fine, anywhere between 10 and 15, I suppose. Under 10 it's getting a bit too thin for me. I worry that it'll get puckered. I don't stabilize it, but people do. Some of my students do. I like to use a hoop, so I use wooden. I like the Nurge hoops, one of my favorite words. They're just brilliant hoops. I bet you can get hold of Nurge hoops, can't you? And
I think you can.
All over the world. They're brilliant. They're actually a German hoop, but it's just got a really good thick brass, what do you call it, screw for tightening it up. So I clamp that around it and I pull the canvas a little bit each side to make it sound like a drum when you tap it. There's quite a few reasons why I like to use it. One, it keeps everything nice and taut. and you don't get puckering. 2, it makes me concentrate on one area. So I finish that area before I move on, particularly if I'm doing a small or a big piece, but it means I finish that eye before I move on to the next one. It means I finish the top of the head before I move to the bottom, and so on. Otherwise, especially if you're doing a big piece, we could start working here and then down there, or our mind starts wandering, or we just generally start sewing randomly, going down and down and down until we haven't really got a focus. It also is, I find it less stressful on my shoulders because I hold the hoop. So when I'm sewing, rather than battling with this big piece of fabric, I'm just holding the little edges of the wooden hoop. And I find it really nice to work like that. It's a lot more relaxing. And also then don't have my fingers underneath where the needle is, because I tend to hold the hoop when I'm sewing. Was that answered all the questions?
I think so. Okay. And then, so the workshop starts on January 15th. And so what happens is we'll send you an invite to the Facebook private page, and then we try to make sure that everybody can access it. Everybody knows what's going on. And then on Sunday, I believe Sophie will do an introduction, a Facebook Live, that only gets streamed to those who are signed up. So not anybody can access that.
Oh, and I send that email. I do an email that Beth and Christy will send out to everybody. An email just sort of. Sorry.
Hi, Andre.
We had a guest appearance. There'll probably be the 2 cats and the dog next.
Right.
I send out an email just sort of going through what I just said, just so you've got it written down, just to welcome everybody and how the guides are set out and what it looks like. So I'll do a screenshot of what the Mustang workshop looks like, so that you can see where the guides are at the top, what happens when you click on them, and then when you're scrolling down, and just how to manipulate your way through, because it can be a bit daunting. And I know I say it every time, and I'm sure none of the students listen to me, but I always say, don't look at them all now. Right. Don't go and look at unit 12, but I'm sure they all do. Start at the unit 1 and work your way through. Don't, overwhelm yourself with all the guides at once. But whatever. I'm sure they're all looking at the last video of me finishing the piece.
I know, it's like when you read the back of the book first. I know, you cannot control these women. You cannot control them.
I'll do the same. I want to see what it looks like when it's finished.
Exactly.
But, it's just so that just to help you sort of understand how to use it, because it can be quite daunting when we got on any new software. Well, not that it's new, most of us know Facebook, but just to sort of work out how to use it. And I'm still not sure whether the Facebook guides as a teaching learning tool was there before COVID. I don't remember ever seeing it.
I don't think so. I'd never seen it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And I'm sure it was set up because so many people were doing online workshops, and it's become such a brilliant tool for working through a step-by-step process of doing something. It's brilliant.
Right. And Vinny, this workshop is the exact same way as the last one that you did with Sophie. You will have access to the unit and the Facebook page from the time we send you, from the time you get registered and we open it up on January 15th. So you don't have to worry if you can't make a Sunday when Sophie's live. It is recorded and you can access it at any time. So
and you can ask questions on the group as well. I'm always saying that to people. You don't have to just save your questions for a Sunday. You can just write on the comments on the Facebook page that you want to ask a question about something anytime. And then I can jump on and answer it. And the great thing about the group is that you'll get other people answering as well. So you won't just get my comment, you'll get other people's, which is always really nice. Everybody's good at giving their advice and their 2 cents worth.
Right. But remember, you're getting what you paid for, that 2 cents. Okay, so Sue wants to know, so we've got 2 Sues who are asking, can they do the thread painting on a long arm? And then the other Sue is asking if it can be done on a domestic home machine.
Okay, domestic home machine, absolutely. I mean, I started doing my work on my grandmother's 1975 Bernina 830 record. So yeah, absolutely, can be done on a domestic machine. You just need to have a darning foot and put the feed dogs down, and then you can sew away. Long arm, I know people have, but I've never seen. Beth, you're more likely to know this than me.
Yeah, I do all of mine on the long arm just because I'm more comfortable with it than my domestic machine. But probably I should not do it on my long arm because then I could focus on a small area at a time and not the whole thing. But there's several people who have done the class on their long arms. So it just depends. I kind of would do it the way Sophie is teaching it the first time and then experience it with what you know you can do.
Or at least have a go, you know, for the first couple of units. I've also said that to people often, you know, have a go with the hoop. And, you know, a couple of ladies have said to me they just can't handle using the hoop because of arthritis in their hands. I don't ever use my fingers to put the hoop together. I always stand firmly above it with the whole weight of my, you know, my body, my arms straight, pushing down to push the hoop together. But some people just don't enjoy using it. So from the get-go, pretty much, you know, they might have one go and then they say, no, I'd much rather do stabilizers and wear my sticky quilting gloves and, you know, do it that way, which I know, which is absolutely fine. There's no right and wrong. And you just take what you want from the workshop. And then if it's not working, yeah, you can absolutely do it your way. It's not a problem.
Right. And Vinny, you know us. We cannot get our dates straight, but so the website says that the class starts on the 14th. So okay. The 14th is when we'll mail you all the stuff, but Sunday's when Sophie will do an introduction. So the 14th is when you'll get your beginning stuff. And then I know up quite a bit further, we had a question about the kit. So the kit gets mailed to you as soon as we have a better idea of what we actually need to mail to you. So we have to give, Sophie's right now in the middle of another workshop in New Zealand. And so when she gets to us and starts our project, then we'll have an idea of what size it's going to be. And we'll get you the canvas and the fabric and all that. We'll mail the kit out to everybody who's registered. If you're not in the US, you will have the option to pay the additional shipping because the shipping is included for everybody in the US.
I'm actually, my last live is this weekend. So next week I can start pulling out fabrics. I can get the Mustang printed out and yeah, and start on with that. There was also, I don't know whether some people wanted to do, because it, so it's not too big. I mean, people can print their Mustang up bigger or smaller, I suppose, if they want to. So it's not too big. It doesn't take too long to do. I was actually going to do probably just the head. And then I'm going to do separate guides on separate pieces of canvas of hooves. I could even do a tail. Not that there's a tail on this, but I don't mind doing, you know, things like that, just so that it's kind of in more detail rather than doing, I didn't want to do do you see what I mean? If it's like this big, I was worried that the eye and things were going to be too small for sewing. I really like to be able to, when I'm sewing things, to be able to show you in great detail how to do nostrils and eyes. Like with the zebra that I showed you guys on my Facebook live that I did. Anybody see that? It's on there. Anyway, I jumped on and did a chit chat on my Facebook page showing the zebra.
Today?
No, it was before the exhibition in London started.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But you can go to Sophie's. Sophie, what is your Facebook page?
Sophie Standing's Textile Art.
Okay, so go there, follow Sophie, so then you can see everything she's doing.
But would that work for everybody if I did for the workshop large head and ears and sort of part of the neck, and then I did the hooves separately to sort of show in great detail how to make up the hoof? And would that work, or would you rather I did the front part? No,
that will work. That will work. But I am this time I'm just going to give them, because last time I just gave them the part that you were going to do instead of the whole bird. Yeah. And then they all wanted the whole bird, and it's so hard to copy it differently.
Of course. So just give that whole picture, definitely.
Yeah, we're going to do the whole picture, and then they can do whatever portion they want of it.
I mean, some naughty people in the eagle did a completely different eagle.
Yes, yes.
But that's absolutely fine. I think that's what it should be about. I think even one lady for the eagle class did a kookaburra. But
yes.
you know, you kind of,
Oh my God, remember when we did the one project and the lady did a chihuahua?
Yes.
I think we were doing the wolf and she did a chihuahua.
I know, yes, sweet. She did her pet dog. Okay, fine. It has eyes and a nose and ears like the wolf.
We cannot control these girls.
No.
Okay, and then Cindy Gygax, we do still have Sophie's Chick Bits on Facebook. It's a private Facebook page. It has been open to everybody who is, Cindy's on it, she just doesn't remember. But it's open to anybody who has taken a class from Sophie.
Yes, and I think that's really nice. It's lovely that all past and present students are on it, because then it just is a really nice friendship group about textile embroidered art. It's fun. It's lovely seeing everyone's creating and chatting about the workshops that they've been on, and it's really nice.
Yes. Okay, and I think if I haven't answered your questions, let me know. Here, Christy has put the link for you guys to sign up.
That's clever. How does she do that?
I don't know. She's crazy.
She's very technologically clever, isn't she?
Yes, much more clever than I am. Okay, if I haven't answered your questions, just post it again because there's a lot of comments.
Yeah, post it again. Are you scrolling through all these comments?
Yeah, I'm trying to, but it's hard to keep up with them.
I don't think
Jody DeVilla's on. Did you see Jody's ram? It won a ribbon at Pacific International Quilt Festival.
Amazing.
It certainly did. Yes.
When did she post that? I haven't seen it. When was that?
Well, I saw it in real life.
Well done, Jody. That's amazing. It was a beautiful, beautiful piece of work. It was really stunning. That's fantastic news. Well done.
Oh, Cindy says she remembers. She just wanted the new gals to know. Okay, so Sophie's Chick Fix is a private Facebook page that all of Sophie's students, even like in the different countries and everything, can join. And then they can, a lot of times, like I know Sarah Burkhart just posted her owl because she couldn't get the eyes right.
Yes.
So a lot of times people will post things and ask others for help.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. It's really fun.
If we are new but taking the January classes, can we join Linda ABC? I will hook you up. Okay. Yes. We can put you in the Sophie's Chick Bits now. And the cost of the workshop is $415. That includes the kit. That includes the shipping as long as you're in the US. Is it possible to see a demo of how the muscles in shoulders and legs are done when showing us how to do the tails and the hooves?
Yes, definitely. I'll definitely do that. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, perfect. And then
I end up doing the whole front bit. I just need to sort of work it out in my head. I just know I really like to do, because for me, whenever you're doing any animal, the eyes are so important. You know, I go on about it all the time, but it is the most important thing when we're looking at any animal or looking at each other. We're looking at the eyes, and it's the expression and the character. So for me, that's the most important part. And, you know, as you can see from this, this is where the areas where you can be as fun and playful as you want on other parts of the body. Even as you get further away from the eye, like on the beak, these kind of playful fabrics. But the eyes are the most important bit. So I like to, when I'm teaching, I don't want to do something that's so small that I can't put enough expression in the eye to show you. You know, filming me stitch, it's nicer when the eye is nice and big. So that's another reason why I wanted to do just the head for me, but then do separate things on other body parts. But I'll see when I get onto it next week and I take a look at it and print it out, then I'll see how it comes up.
And for those of you who have never taken a class from Sophie, one of the my favorite things, because I have a hard time following the rules and I have a hard time sticking to
what I'm not many rules with it really.
To be doing. Well, Sophie doesn't really have any rules. I mean, she's going to tell you how she does it. But if you want to do it your own way, she's not going to be that teacher that says, "Oh my God, no, you have to go sit in the corner." Yeah. She's just helping you to find your own creativity.
I mean, you can use all batiks if you wanted to, or you could have a pink, purple, and green horse. It doesn't matter. It can be whatever you want it to be. The kit is there, sort of similar colors and fabrics that I use. But you can put your own essence of you in it, which is really important. That's what it's about. You know, when we buy, we want to make that was going to say Kaif here, Kaif Star Quilt. You know, we love his quilt and his fabrics, but we might want to make it in something that suits our personality or our decor. Maybe it's a gift for someone. So we put an essence of our own creativity in it, and that's what it's all about, these kits. It's nice when we can add a bit of us in it.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, Jody won Best Pictorial Quilt Innovative Division.
That is amazing. Congratulations. Is Jody here now?
Yes, she is.
Well done, Jody. Amazing. That's fantastic.
Okay. And then, do you girls have any other questions for Sophie? Because I know it is like almost 1 o'clock her time, 1 o'clock in the morning. We got our times a little bit mixed up. So we thought that she was coming on at 9 o'clock her time. Yeah. So that wasn't a big deal. But now she's like, oh my God, it's 1 o'clock.
It's fine. I'm all right, actually.
Okay, so well, tell us real quick, because I know you were just in an exhibit and I saw you in person with Kaif Fassett and Brandon Mabley. Yeah. How exciting was that?
Oh, it was
like a dream come true.
It was wonderful. And it was, I guess, because I've chatted to Brandon so often, you know, on the internet through Instagram or in Facebook and, you know, just chit chats and things over the years. And they've always been so supportive of my work, and Philip. It was almost like I knew them already, but kind of hadn't actually met. But it was wonderful. They're such warm, friendly, genuine, down to earth guys. Yeah, but it was really special to meet them, and really special to, just honored to be asked to be part of the amazing exhibition that's it's on in London at the London Fashion and Textile Museum for 6 months. It started on 23rd of September and it's on until the 12th of March. Then it goes to the Dovecote in Edinburgh in Scotland for 6 months, and then it's off to Stockholm to the Miller's Garden for 3 months. That'll be this time next year. So they Kaif chose 17 international textile artists, quilt makers, or you know, thread embroiderers, coat makers, dressmakers, who all use the Kaif Fassett Collective fabrics in their work. And there were 17 of us all exhibiting together along with him as well. So yeah, it's beautiful, beautiful exhibition. If anyone finds themselves in England, Scotland, or in Stockholm, go and have a look. It's a really joyous exhibition. You just want to go home and create. You know, even I was I've come back and I keep looking at I was saying to Beth, I've still got my beautiful wool sitting in the corner for the Kaif and Brendan knit class that I've signed up to online about 1.5 years ago. Luckily for me, they do it a bit longer, so I can still sign up and access this flippin' Anastasia stitch. But yeah, you just want to come home and create. It's a great exhibition.
For sure. And such an honor. Like it's so exciting. Yes.
Huge honor.
Like people don't realize when I tell them you're coming to teach for us, they have no idea the honor it is that you're teaching for us.
Oh, no, don't be silly. So I think it's always quite a weird thing for any artist or creator when you're beavering away by yourself in your studio. To kind of think about the outside world. And when you're suddenly exhibiting or meeting, or like when I'm looking at Danny Amazonis's work or Susan Carlson's works there as well. And I'm up close looking at Susan's writing, going, wow, I've chatted to her online before. And gosh, it's so amazing to see her work. And it's so nice to kind of then get into the real world and actually show your work and see other people's work. And it's not just you on your own in your studio, because that's what we do, don't we? We're just kind of exhibiting. I'm just sort of on your own. It is a bit of out-of-body experience exhibiting, and I generally don't like, I was talking about this to Brandon, actually saying I don't really like often being there at my exhibitions. I tend to sort of hide out the back and not really want to be there in front of my work. It's kind of a weird weird thing.
Well, Jody says, Sophie, your zebra was breathtaking and huge. What a great honor.
Yeah, it was big. There was a lot of blood, sweat and tears went into that, I tell you, especially the last few days, and I knew I had to get it finished to take it to London. It was so enormous. I don't know what I was thinking of. It was so heavy. My little hoop didn't really help that much with the muscles on something that was that heavy. Luckily, I've got a really big table that sort of stretches around the side of me to put it on.
And then, Vinny, tell all of your fellow artists to sign up. There is plenty of room. And if it fills up and we have too many people, Sophie will do it again. No, I'm just kidding. She's only doing one a year for us and one for the shop in New Zealand. Although I have tried to talk Sophie into doing like a UFO class, like maybe a weekend class, Zoom class, so that we can actually finish the projects we've started, because I know most of the people watching right now have at least one or two of your projects in the works.
Yeah, actually, Andrea's doing my alpaca at the minute, but she hasn't finished her eagle, and she's been emailing me this week. She's actually finished it now. She's got it finished. But she was like, I've got to finish my eagle. I was like, Andrea, it's not there anymore. It's gone down. I was like, why are you doing the alpaca when you haven't done the eagle yet? This is ridiculous. Come on, let's get finished. I was like, email me then. I said, the thing is, I've got so many pictures, as we all have, and videos in I've got an iPad. So my iPhotos is about, I don't know, it's ridiculous, like 10,000 or something. I said, so I cannot keep every video and picture of every workshop I've done. I'm afraid I've deleted it all. But I said also, she's on the chick bit. So I said, look, you can always just post it on there and say, anyone did the eagle? How am I doing with my feathers? And, but I've been chatting to her, and she's finished it now. It looks beautiful. She's actually going to quilt it. I said, well, let us know what it looks like when you've quilted it. But I've lost the train of thought, actually, of what I was saying. Oh, yeah, about UFOs. That was it. But that's also the nice thing about these groups afterwards for students that have all worked together, because there's always someone that has that'll say, oh, no, you could do this. And, oh, you hadn't finished that bit. Well, this is what I did. And there's so many different ways of finishing things off, and producing it as a piece of artwork or a cushion. I know Phyllis, I'm sure Phyllis did a couple of cushions as well from the pieces she did with me online.
Right. She turned them into pillows because she didn't want any more wall hangings.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they looked great like that.
And then somebody else put it on a tote bag.
Yeah. Yes. And then the lady who put it in the middle of a quilt and did a beautiful patchwork around it. That was for the eagle. That was so beautiful. And then didn't she quilt on or paint and then quilt on a dream catcher? Yes. Really love it. Yeah. So I love it. I really love seeing people taking it to a different level and really putting their own mark on it.
Right. That's what I love about you. You give us the skills, and then you clip our wings and let us fly. Okay, girls, this is your last chance. Do you have any other questions for Sophie? Otherwise, I'm going to let Sophie go giveaways. Okay, I'm waiting. I'm going to give you guys like 5 seconds to type in any other questions you have. And then we're going to do giveaways. If you guys haven't done our giveaways, they go in your baskets, or you can let us know, and you can pay shipping. Okay, they're saying thank you. It's been wonderful.
Thank you too. Thanks for joining.
Very excited.
Yeah.
Well, Sophie, just because I like to put you on the spot sometimes.
Thanks.
Did you just roll your eyes?
No. With reflection in my glasses.
Okay. So is there any chance that maybe we could talk you into coming and doing an in-person live retreat at Tahoe again, maybe like 2024-ish?
Yes. No, I'm sure. I would love that, because actually 24, I'm going to Australia is it May or June? So yeah, we could do that. Let's chat.
Okay.
Time.
Yes. Let's put our thinking caps together.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks.
We'll talk to you soon.
Everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. So for those of you who don't watch us, every Monday and Wednesday, we do Facebook Lives at 4:00. On Mondays, we try to teach you something. Len Jenkins, I do not need anybody to write that down for me. It's in my head, okay? It's already in the works. I wouldn't have put her on the spot, really. We've already been talking about it. Anyhow, but I just want to give you guys the exciting news. Anyways, I would love to go again. Jody, how is Dorothy doing? I haven't heard from her in a while. I need to give her a call. So anyways, we're not doing a big sale today like we normally do because we're getting ready. We're doing a show in Puyallup, Washington next week. But I do have some giveaways. So what we do when we do the giveaways is I just scroll through the comments and put your guys' names on things, and then we throw them in your basket. So hopefully those of you who are new to watching will join us on Mondays and Wednesdays. And it's kind of crazy, but that's just the way it is. Okay, so I'm going to start scrolling. I have a little mini charm pack here of pixels from Moda. I know I'm filming myself right now, so it's kind of weird. Okay, I've got Cindy Gygax. Cindy, I got to write the names down so I don't forget and I get them in the right baskets. Usually Roger films us, so I don't have to worry about getting it in the shop. Mel, are we going to see you in Puyallup? Am I supposed to bring your basket to you? Let me know. Great. I will give her a call. Okay, so then I have 2-of-a-kind quilts, 12 scrappy designs that are double the fun. And I have Vinny Cookson. Okay, Vinny, did you get all of the stuff the questions that you had? I didn't give you a call, but did you get everything answered for the Hollyhock class? Roger honestly is inventorying diamond art and getting that ready for me to take to the show. But he didn't have to film because of I was just interviewing, so I didn't need it close-ups. But he's here. He's over there doing something. I told him to go get a newspaper because I heard we're on the front page today. Okay, I've got Mary Vitti, and Mary Vitti, you just won Scrap Basket Knockouts, 12 imaginative quilts from Strips and Squares. I'm sure you've got lots of scraps for that. And then I've got another little mini charm pack. And I have, Cindy Gygax, you already won something. Gwen Gopal. Okay. And then I've got another book, all-time favorites. I've got Phyllis Holmes. Phyllis, that'll be good. 14 quilts from blocks you love. Phyllis Holmes. Okay, wait, I got new comments down here I gotta go look at. Just hit the front page of our local. I know, Phyllis, I've heard all day that we hit the front page, but I don't get the newspaper, so I need to go I told Roger to go get a couple of them, but he didn't go. So maybe I don't know, do they even have, how they used to have those boxes and you could put 50 cents in and get a paper? I wonder if they have that in front of the newspaper. Okay, this is a book. If you're into, oops, I just lost my thing to write your name on. If you're into doing garments, just write your name. Just put in garments, and I'll put in garments, and I will we'll do a drawing for that because it's Garment Makers Project Planner. Everything you need to dream, plan, and organize 12 projects. But it doesn't have the pattern, so it's just like, I don't know. It looks like a homework thing to me. Like you might really, I don't know. If you're into garments, put that in and we'll put you in a drawing. Okay, here, I'm writing your names down for the garment drawing real quick. Okay, Peggy Driscoll. Oh, Rayleigh's have it. Thank you, Anna. How are you feeling? Okay, I've got Peggy Driscoll. It is online. We actually posted the write-up on Fabric Chicks. So you can just hit the link on Fabric Chicks and you can see that. Okay, so then let me see. Garments, Peggy. I've got Peggy. I've got Judy Corrado. Hey, Judy, it's good to hear from you. Dorothy Reed. Mary Menz. I know it seems to go faster when there's somebody here helping me. But I can manage by myself, girls. I can manage by myself. I believe, Cindy Gygax, it was about the soldier quilts. But it could be about the beautiful paint job we did. The shop is now pink. Some people have commented that they did have asked if there's a new Mexican restaurant in town, because apparently pink buildings get correlated with Mexican restaurants. Oh, Rondi says it was great. Okay. Christy Lee says Dorothy needs it. I know. When I was flipping through it earlier, I thought of Dorothy. Victor, the Record Courier. Fran Harris, welcome. It's good to see you. I still have a bag for you. And Debbie Clarkson, I did get your email. I just have been so swamped. I have not responded. Sorry. I'm sorry. I'm a slacker. Kathleen Hackney. Okay. And then I've got Peggy Driscoll. It's very, very pink. It's in, so they haven't finished the paint job because it's now snowing. So they're hoping next week it is going to warm up. I did not get a text, Christy Lee. Did anybody else get a text reminding them that there was a live today? Oh, Diana Hensley did. Okay. Soldiers, I read it in Texas too. Oh, well, good, Vinny. I'm glad you're keeping up on all of our news, even though you moved. It's a purpley pink, Leilani. We actually had a kid come in who was about 22, and his whole car was driving past, and they turned around to come back because they had a debate of whether it was pink or whether it was purple. So I told him it was lilac, because that was the closest I could think of to pink or purple. Okay, let's see. I think I've got everybody here entered into the drawing that typed in garments. So let me find an empty basket. I have this problem every time. I just keep dumping over bowls so that I can do, here's probably a very important note at the bottom of that bowl. Okay. So I got your guys' names in there. The texting is, thank you, Leilani. Lilac is a good color, I think. Christy's trying out texting you guys to remind you when we're going live. Just so that, you can't say that you forgot. Okay, here I go. Kathleen Hackney. Okay, Kathleen. So call me, not right now because I'm the only one here. But call me and let me know I need your shipping address and all that good stuff. So here, I'm going to put your name in it. And then let's see, I've got some more giveaways. We got a big box from Mario. So I've got some more giveaways. I've got Table-tastic 3. It is a ton of, let's see what happened here. That has to go away. I don't know. Okay. So I've got Table-tastic. It is a bunch of different table runners. Table-tastic 5, I think. Okay. And I've got Linda ABC. That's good. It's got a ton of them for you. You can make a different one for each kid. Linda ABC. And then I've got, Linda ABC didn't get a text. Well, she'll figure it out for you. And then next week, guys, well, not next week because I'm going to be gone, but I do have some batting left over from quilts that I did for soldiers. So I've got some strips. So I'm going to show you, Leilani had demoed the coaster using the 5 squares. So I'm going to re-show you guys that when I get back from Puyallup. And then we'll do a drawing for the leftover batting scraps. But it makes a cute, quick gift. Okay, so that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions? Otherwise, we will see you. We'll be live on for those of you who don't know, we'll be on you have to go to Wild Wednesday Live Facebook page, and we'll go live from Puyallup, Washington. So you will actually, you'll actually be able to see behind the scenes of setup day at Puyallup, Washington. And then on Thursday and Friday, Adele and I will go around and interview 2 or 3 vendors each day, so you can really see a close-up look at what they have. Pull y'all up. Okay, so perfect. Debbie says the text was the first she heard of Sophie, so she's glad you sent the text. And then for those of you who didn't get it, I'm going to check and make sure that we, I don't know, Christy, do we need their cell phone numbers or, oh, thank you for the reminder, Victor. So Victor says Raylene is going to be live. No, that would have been today. Victor, that would have been today at 2:00. I don't think we did a live today, did we? On Wild Wednesday Live? I think the next one is going to, yeah, because I think they're in Tucson right now. I don't know. I can't keep track of myself, let alone other things going on. So we need, okay, so this is what Christy is saying. The people who got a text, we have their cell phone numbers in their profile. So if you didn't get a text today, if you can message me privately on my Facebook message, your cell phone number, and we will update that. Okay, Leilani, so they're today setting up at the Tucson show, and that's why it went live today. So Victor is correct. Not that I would say Victor isn't correct, but they did behind the scenes today in Tucson, and then next week we'll do behind the scenes in Puyallup. Mary Mans, the next time you come into the shop, let me know and we'll correct your whole profile. So if you didn't get a text, we just need to make sure that we have your cell phone on file. Okay, that is, it looks like all I have for today. So we will talk to you guys soon. Have a great weekend. Get some sewing done. Love you guys. Bye.